and who is participating in our session. So welcome. Again, just a reminder, there might be some District 80 specific stuff in here, but don't worry about that. Just find out what it means for your district. And in terms of questions, we encourage you to use the chat feature to ask your questions. So I will be monitoring that chat box, and I'll gather up the questions and provide them to Rudy at the end. You do not need to send them to me privately unless there is something you don't want to share with the entire group. Just feel free to put them in there, and I will extract them. And we'll, like I said, we'll tackle those at the end of Rudy's presentation. Okay. So with that, I'm going to hand the floor over to District Governor nominee Rudy, and to take the floor on vocational service in action. Rudy, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Good evening, fellow Rotarians, and welcome to Vocational Service in Action. Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you, and to acknowledge any past district governors who might be in attendance this evening, and also to say a special welcome to our guests from our neighboring district 7090. It's good to have you with us this evening. I would like to thank in advance the following people: Patricia Demek, Sandy Amaini, Darren Sweeney, Clarence Harrison, Omid Dean, and everyone in the training committee. And please forgive me if I neglect to mention anyone's name who helped in making it possible for our district to have the club leadership training transition onto an online format so efficiently and so quickly. And also I'd like to thank Ute Lindner for her input into this presentation. Ute will be the incoming Director of Vocational Service at District. And also thank each and every one of you for your incredible commitment to serve your community and Rotary, way above and beyond. We look forward to a great and challenging year ahead with the sage leadership of our incoming District Governor, Mike Laurie. To introduce myself, for those who don't know me, my name is Rudy Habesh. I am the District Governor nominee. What this means is that I will be the District Governor in 2021-2022. I am a Rotarian in the Rotary Club of Oakville, and I am a real estate broker, certified negotiator by profession with Right at Home Realty in Burlington. I also work as a cultural broker and run interpretation and translation services in Ontario. I am a former CEO of Heidelberg Jordan. This is a company which is a part of a German company called Heidelberger Druckmaschinen AG, which makes printing presses. And I joined Rotary in 1994. I was club president twice. I joined in Amman, Jordan, so I was president in 2003 of the Rotary Club of Amman Cosmopolitan, and in 2013 I was president of the Rotary Club of Oakville. And I'm the co-founder and founding chair of the Gift of Life chapter in Amman. Many Rotarians know about the Gift of Life, especially our colleagues in 7090. This is a program that helps get life-saving heart surgery for children with congenital defects. And I am also a past assistant governor for the Oakville cluster. And just to introduce you to Ute, unfortunately, again, she couldn't be with us this evening. Ute Lindner will be our vocational service director. She is a member of the, she is also the president currently of the Rotary Club of Burlington Lakeshore. And the reason why she can't be with us this evening is that they have a board meeting this evening. So she's a certified coactive coach, also a professional certified coach. She's a founder of Pivot Coaching, and she joined Rotary in 2016. And she was Club Vocational Chair 2017-2018. She's on a fast track. So this lady joined Rotary and immediately went into action. And we are very happy to have her here with us this evening. Our goal for this session is to develop an understanding of vocational service as an avenue of service, and to provide examples and opportunities to take action in vocational service activities and projects. Just to go through what we will cover today, vocational service is an avenue of service. So to get to that, we will go briefly over the object of Rotary, the concept of vocational service, integrity and ethics, skills or occupations, advancing high ethical standards in the workplace, vocational training and professional development, vocational training teams, and vocational service resources. The Rotary vision statement guides us as we go through our lives in Rotary. And just a quick reminder, it is together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. And never has been a time more appropriate for us to be proud of our vision statement, because Rotarians have come through and we are seeing a lot of action and we're seeing a lot of change with what's going on with the COVID situation. When Rotary International President-elect Holger Knack presented his theme, the furthest from anyone's mind was the COVID-19 pandemic facing the world today. Rotarians throughout the world continue to step up and serve their communities. As we present to you CLT Plan B, we realize that both the current team of Rotary, Rotary Connects People, and the new theme of Rotary, which was presented by Governor-elect Mike, Rotary Opens Opportunities, could not have been more appropriate. Therefore, please keep both themes in mind as we go through our presentation today, and many of the action items and service opportunities might have to be adapted to the current situation. Throughout this evening, we keep in mind Rotary's guiding principles, the object of Rotary, the four-way test, and the avenues of service. There are 5 Rotary avenues of service and 6 areas of focus. The avenues of service are club service, vocational service, community service, international service, and youth service. And vocational service is the essence of Rotary and serves as the foundation from which we serve our communities around the world. It is an avenue of service that crosses all others. In a way, it goes horizontally across the other avenues, similar to how it is incorporated into each of the 6 areas of focus. So if you look at each avenue of service and you think about it, if you're doing community service, part of your vocation comes into that. If you're doing club service and you're an accountant and you're the treasurer of your club, a part of your vocation is coming into that, and so on. So it is one of those avenues that crosses the boundaries of the others, and it also goes through the areas of the 6 areas of focus. So vocational service, going through peace and conflict resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water and sanitation, maternal health and childcare, and basic education and literacy. So we all know that we use our vocation as Rotarians when we are working through these areas of focus within the projects that we all are supporting and working with. And also, we have to also look at what DGE Mike mentioned in his opening remarks, that we might be looking at a 7th area of focus, which will be the environment. So keeping that in mind as we go forward, what is vocational service? Vocational service calls on every Rotarian to work with integrity and contribute his or her expertise to the problems and needs of society. I'm sorry, I'm having a little issue with my clicker, but it's working again now. Thank you for your understanding. So going briefly over the object of Rotary, it's a philosophical statement about Rotary's purpose and responsibilities of Rotarian. And the concept of vocational training is rooted in the second object of Rotary. Looking at the four of them, I don't need to go through them again, but the second object of Rotary talks about high ethical standards in business and professions, and the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and dignifying each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. The third object also plays a part, as it calls onto Rotarians to apply the ideal of service in personal, business, and community life, thus bringing Rotary to our personal business and vocations. So many Rotarians apply their Rotary ethics and the four-way tests throughout their business life. To further elaborate, the object of Rotary, again, is a philosophical statement. And I don't know why I'm having this text run again. So let me just go back through that. The concept of Rotary is rooted in the second object. I think we've already gone through that. And it fosters high ethical standards in business and professions, and the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupation, as well as dignifying each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Sorry about that repetition. Consider these suggestions. Talk about your profession in your club and take time to learn about fellow members' occupations. Many Rotarians do a classification talk. They talk about their profession. They talk about what they do at work. And it is always encouraged to share that with your Rotarian colleagues in the club and in the district, and whenever you meet other Rotarians. It's a great way to talk about yourself and to introduce what you do to Rotary. And it doesn't go badly if you are networking as well. That's absolutely fine. Use your skills and expertise to serve a community. Practice your profession with integrity and inspire others to behave ethically through words and actions. Help young people achieve their career goals. We'll go through these issues again and again throughout the presentation, but mainly this is something that puts you in the sort of mood of vocational service and what it's about. Guide and encourage others in their professional development. And by understanding these activities, you bring vocational service to life. It is the essence of Rotary. Vocational service is the essence of Rotary, and it serves as the foundation from which we serve our communities around the world. Rotary emphasizes integrity and high ethical standards. Two standards developed by Rotarians are the four-way test and the Rotarian Code of Conduct. They provide a roadmap for ethical behavior in the workplace and other areas of life. The history of the four-way test. The four-way test was conceived in 1932 by a businessman called Herbert J. Taylor. He was a member of the Rotary Club of Chicago, and he served as Rotary International President for 54-55. Having taken the task of saving a company from bankruptcy, Taylor developed the test as an ethical guide to follow in all business matters. The company's survival was credited to this simple philosophy. Adopted by Rotary International in 1934, the four-way test remains an essential standard against which Rotarians measure ethical behavior. It has been translated into dozens of languages and promoted by Rotarians worldwide. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? I'm sure we all know it by heart, but just a quick reminder about the four-way test, which is our basic guiding principle in everything we do in Rotary. The Rotarian Code of Conduct provides a framework for ethical behavior that Rotarians can use together with the four-way test in their business and professional activities. As a part of Rotary's guiding principles and the avenues of service, vocational service calls on Rotarians to empower others by using their unique skills and expertise to address community needs and help others discover new professional opportunities and interests. The Code of Conduct instructs us, or as a Rotarian, I promise that I will act with integrity and high ethical standards in my personal and professional life. I will deal fairly with others and treat them and their occupations with respect. I will use my professional skills through Rotary to mentor young people, help those with special needs, and improve people's quality of life in my community and in the world. I will avoid behavior that reflects adversely on Rotary and other Rotarians. The crux of it is that Rotarians are people of high integrity. Skills or occupations, by including men and women from diverse professions and backgrounds, Rotary recognizes the importance of all skills and occupations. A vibrant Rotary Club reflects the businesses, the organizations, and the professions in the community, embracing diversity in experiences and perspectives. Your professional life and vocational service go together. Rotarians have a dual responsibility to represent their occupations within their club and to exemplify the ideals of Rotary in their places of work. The name Rotary came from the practice of rotating meetings among members. So they met at each member's place of business every time as a rotation. That tradition remains an excellent way for Rotarians to share their occupations with their clubs. Invite each member of your club to briefly share about his or her profession, an area of specialty, or a particular skill that they have during club meetings throughout the year. So they don't have to just come up and speak when it's a classification talk. Maybe they want to say something about an area of interest. In my club, we have a member who is a wine expert, and every year he does a wine tasting at the club, and hopefully soon we will be able to do that again in person. However, I know many clubs that have managed, or wine clubs that manage to do this virtually with people, receiving wine at home, and then they get together on Zoom and they share the experience together. Again, with our motto of Rotarians are people of action, we always want to take action. So what can you do to take action in terms of supporting vocational service? You can join a Rotarian action group and support service projects around the world. These independent groups include Rotarians, family members, and Rotary program participants and alumni who have expertise in a particular field. Members advise clubs and districts and collaborate with them on service projects. You can learn more about this at rotary.org/action groups. As you can see, members of a Rotarian action group do not have to be Rotarians. That could include friends of Rotary, spouses, family members, Rotaractors, Interactors, RILA participants, former exchange students, and so on. You can also join a Rotary Fellowship or even form one. That's something that's related to your vocation. So Rotary Fellowships are international groups of Rotarians, again, family members and other participants who share a vocational or recreational interest. Many fellowships are related to professionals, such as editors and publishers, health professionals, and lawyers. However, there are other groups, like there's a Harley Davidson group, there is a beer group, there is a single malt group, there are swimming groups, there are so many that you can get involved with, or encourage your members to get involved with, that will put you in touch with Rotarians from around the world who share the same interests that you do. Volunteer to work on a service project and use your vocational skills to serve others. Think about the skills that make you successful in your profession. Maybe you have training in some branch of science or medicine or handy with tools or machinery or know how to start a business. So you can always volunteer within your community and do something, or you can volunteer on an international project. We've had Rotarians from our district who went on to help build schools and renovate older buildings and transform them into schoolrooms in the Dominican Republic. So this is something that is vocational that you can do on an international level, and you can do this for a week. You don't have to spend too much time. It's a great way to meet fellow Rotarians from other countries and from other clubs, and also to do something that is very fulfilling on a personal level. You can also share your expertise through your district resource network. So if you have technical expertise in one of Rotary's 6 areas of focus, or with project planning and implementation, community assessment, things like that, you can always share those. Let your district international service chair know, or your vocational service chair know, and you can help with even local clubs and international clubs develop projects with greater impact. You can also participate in a vocation-related Rotary Friendship Exchange. Work with your district Rotary Friendship Exchange chair to organize an international reciprocal exchange between 2 districts. I know this is probably the last thing on people's minds right now, but we had an exchange with Rotarians from Mexico a few months ago, and it was a great experience. And we were going to have an exchange with clubs from Jordan, I think, in my year, and hopefully the situation would be more convenient, and it would be healthy to do something like that in the near future. So going back to ethics and advancing high ethical standards in the workplace. As leaders in their business and professions, Rotarians can advance high ethical standards by setting a positive example amongst colleagues and in their community. Here are a few specific ways Rotarians can integrate ethics into their daily work life. You discuss and emphasize honesty, accountability, fairness, integrity, and respect when hiring, training, and supervising employees. Praise and encourage the exemplary behavior of colleagues. Demonstrate personal commitment to high ethical standards in relations with customers, vendors, and business associates. Treating each business interaction with care and consideration, and promote socially and environmentally responsible practices in your businesses and organizations. Opportunities to promote ethics are abundant. The Rotary Club of Islamabad Metropolitan in Pakistan sponsored a speech competition on the 4-way test in English and in Urdu. Students expressed their understanding of the 4-way test, along with creative approaches to practicing the test at work, or at school, or in daily interactions. A 4-member panel of Rotarian and faculty judges awarded the winners with prizes. The Rotary Club of Oakville West uses vocational awards to honor local businesses who exemplified service and ethics in their place of business. And unfortunately, this year, their celebration had to be postponed due to COVID-19, but I'm sure that with their ingenuity, there will be something that will happen soon that will replace that event for this year. Educate current club members, dedicate time to discussing the importance of the 4-way test and the Rotarian Code of Conduct. Discuss ethical dilemmas. You can organize a workshop or interactive activities to discuss ethical resolutions to challenging scenarios. Recognize those who do good and honor business professionals that demonstrate high ethical standards. And for those who do good in the community, many clubs do a Paul Harris Community Award every year. My cluster does this on an annual basis. Again, we will have to modify it if we are still around January in the self-isolating situation or staying at home, but I know that we will find something. Engage young people. Sorry, going back. Engage young people. Mentorship opportunities allow you to share knowledge and guide youth in building a successful future. Consider conducting workshops or hosting professional development seminars. I know a few Rotary clubs who have started to mentor high school students and to engage them in many activities. Vocational training and professional development. Remember that Rotary was founded as a business networking organization. Many of us forget that, and for a while we've sort of gotten away from that. Rotary emphasizes the importance of bringing together business and professional leaders for the purpose of exchanging ideas, developing relationships, and improving communities. Rotary members are committed to professional development and advancing their skills. Rotarians can pursue this commitment through activities that increase their knowledge and by guiding and training others to find gainful and fulfilling employment. To provide training, tools, and networking opportunities in business, Rotary clubs in California in the States sponsored a young professionals conference which connected experienced professionals with youth at the start of their careers. The one-day conference featured entrepreneurs and philanthropists discussing issues and ideas related to advancing a career and developing personally and professionally, and offered career counseling and guidance. The Rotary Club of Bentonville in Arkansas recognized that students and employees of small and medium-sized businesses lacked access to inspiring professional development events like International Women's Day celebrations. So with the support of local women leaders and past Rotary International directors, Jennifer Jones and Mary Beth Growney Saline, the club organized its first International Women's Day Symposium where more than 300 students and both women and men from the community got to hear how accomplished women advanced their careers and balanced professional lives. A vocational training team offers a hands-on approach to vocational service. In a vocational training team, groups of professionals travel either to learn more about their vocation or to teach local professionals about a particular field. The VTT helps create a sustainable change while strengthening the knowledge and skills of individuals and communities, thereby improving their capability to serve. In addition to experiencing a new culture and fostering global connections, Rotarians participating in a global vocational training team have the opportunity to make an impact long after their travels end. Teams can qualify for a global grant through the Rotary Foundation so long as they address one of Rotary's 6 areas of focus and follow certain specific guidelines for scopes of sustainability and measurability. Funded teams must consist of at least 1 Rotarian team leader with general Rotary knowledge, leader skills, and international experience and expertise in the areas of focus. So at least they would have to have at least 2 years of work in a certain area, work experience in a certain area of focus. So there is more information on rotary.org/grants. And I know that, again, we go back to the current situation with limited traveling. There's a lot of things that Rotarian vocational teams can do through Zoom. I'm sure that a lot of training and expertise can be shared through online facilities and so on. A district in the United States used district grants to fund a partnership with a district in Australia to exchange vocational teams focused on the environmental impact of oil spills. They traveled to disaster sites to evaluate the effects and the recovery efforts, and then shared their analyses and ideas for ensuring access to clean water. A district in South Africa used district grants to fund and send a vocational training team to a community in another part of the country to provide teacher training in mathematics, science, and classroom skills. With the help of teachers, parents, and the community, this training will help 2 high schools increase the number of students who pass university entrance exams. Again, this kind of training can be done through the online platforms that are available today. It might not be as effective because you don't see and you don't interact with people, and the fulfillment of being with people and seeing the kids learn and seeing the results is a little bit less this way. But at least as Rotarians, we can continue to do things in this time that are successful and useful. So another vocational training team qualified for a global grant through the foundation because it was directly related to maternal and child health, which is one of the 6 areas of focus. And this was a team of medical professionals from the United States who traveled to El Salvador to teach local heart surgeons specialized in pediatric heart surgery. I told you I was connected to the Gift of Life, and this is what the Gift of Life does. So they were trained also in post-operative care and recovery skills as well. The action group helped districts 4420 in Brazil and 6,000 in USA on a global grant application for a 2-year vocational training team to prepare 15 trainers to teach the Ponseti method to 50 orthopedic surgeons. The group also organized webinars for hosts and international sponsors of global grants that focus on applying for grants and the expectations of both partners and Rotary throughout the grant process. Vocational service in action. In conclusion, what would my club's involvement in vocational service achieve for my club? Improve service opportunities for club members, which would result in greater local impact, increased visibility for the club and its partners, attract new members, strengthen Rotarian and non-Rotarian service teams. Remember, Rotary opens opportunities, and it's not only 3 doors, there's a whole bunch of them that we can get into that would definitely give us a lot of experience, satisfaction, and don't forget, Rotary provides a lot of training that we enjoy a lot in our district. And once again, thank you to our incredible training team. Before we go to questions, I'm just going to go through some of the resources that are available. You can contact Ute Lindner, who is going to be our District Vocational Service Director. Her email is ute@theautostation.ca. The Observe National Service, Vocational Service Month, which is January. It's designated as Vocational Service Month. Sign up to receive the Rotary Service newsletter, and you can do that at rotary.org/newsletter. Read the blog. There is a Rotary Service blog, and I encourage you all to read it. And there's a lot of discussion that goes on there. And you can take advantage of the Project Lifecycle Kit, which is also available, and where also use the facilities available at the district website to showcase your projects and so on. And I'm going to now go back to Sandia and see if she has collected any questions.
Hi, Rudy. Thanks very much. So there are no questions yet, unless people are typing fast and furiously. So I'm having to look at people's videos for just to see if anyone is typing anything. I think you covered things in pretty good detail there. There was a comment to make the presentation slides available. So just as a reminder, we are recording all of these sessions, and where we are able, we will definitely make the slides available as well. And you can find links to the recording and slides and any other stuff that might be associated with this session on the club leadership page on the District 7080 site. So actually, just Rudy, a question did come through, which is, does the Toastmaster partnership get a tie-in somehow with vocational service?
That is something that we are working on at the moment. We are at the district, at the G team in communication with the leadership of the Toastmasters district in our area. They have a little bit of a different program. Right now with Toastmasters, we, you're welcome to join one of their meetings as a guest, and they're welcome to join one of our meetings as a guest. And as I mentioned earlier, we are working on a platform that would allow us to sort of interact with each other. And we will keep you posted on that as soon as we have that set up.
Great, thanks. Sherry, hopefully that answered your question, but if not, and you wanted to provide more or you wanted to weigh in, just let us know in the chat and we'll unmute you there. So another question just came in for you from Owen. What board director role does vocational service align with?
Usually the club has, you mean on a club level, I presume. So on a club level, it's usually a director of an avenue of service. Basically, for example, in my club, we have 9 board members. There is, of course, the president, the president-elect, and we have also directors. There's community service, there is international, and so on. And we have a vocational service director that is a member of the board. So, and some clubs have that as a part of another committee and so on. It depends, but it is a full avenue of service in Rotary. So the expectation is that clubs give it as much attention as possible. And I know that a lot of clubs in the past or in the recent past have not been active in terms of vocational. I must say we in district have been a little bit relaxed in that area. But if we think about it, vocational Rotary started based on vocations. So, and the idea that we use our training and our vocations to help people is something that has been totally adopted by Rotary ever since we started. And it's a very important avenue of service, and I do believe that a club should have that as a director level on their board.
Thanks, Rudy. And then another question from May was around, do you have any ideas for January Vocational Service Month and things that clubs can do, especially in that month?
Well, you can do a lot of things, and an idea could be, I like that contest idea of the 4-way test that was done in Pakistan. And that is something that can be done during that month. You can do presentations for high school kids, mentor, do special groups where you talk about your profession. A lot of high school kids like to, know more about fields that they want to get into. So if you have an architect in the club and there is a bunch of students who want to study architecture, that might be something that you can do during vocational month as an outreach. And those are things that can be done through Zoom. So it's not something that you need to do in terms of, physical physical contact. Reach out to universities, colleges, try to get people from, local businesses to come and talk about their businesses. We had, at some point in my club, we sort of worked with the Oakville Chamber of Commerce, where they usually have something they call business after hours. And we were like, why don't you host it at our club? And we did that a while ago. And so people came and they spoke about their businesses and their professions and so on. You can hold networking events. There's a lot of things that you can do. And there is a booklet on the Resource Center in Rotary.org, and if you log on to my Rotary, there are so many resources that you can download. And there is a booklet that actually this presentation was based on. So you will see a lot of these ideas that are that were mentioned here in that booklet.
Great. Thanks, Rudy. Oh, got some feedback happening there. So just a couple more questions there. Actually, just a point for anybody, if you want to contribute to the discussion, feel free to add your vocational service ideas into the chat box, and that way people will have a record of them. So feel free to do that as Rudy answers the next question, which is, Rudy, what's your assessment of the success of the vocational training teams in terms of sustainability and effectiveness?
From my personal experience, I've had, my experience was with the doctors, and the main experience that I had was in Jordan. And we had a vocational training team that was based in Indianapolis fly over to Jordan. And this was in 2005. And they started to train local pediatric heart surgeons to do complex procedures. So there are simple procedures that the surgeons were doing, but there were complex procedures that were very difficult and so on. And we started with one kid. And today in 2020, 15 years later, they've done over 500 surgeries on their own. So I must say that from my experience, this is a great success story for a vocational training team. Now, this is a very specialized team. There are others who do this with, with construction, with building dams, with doing water projects, teaching local people how to do them on their own. And the key to the success of a vocational training team, and to anything that we do in a different environment or a different culture, is to have buy-in from the local community. Because once you have buy-in, then you will have success and you will have continuity. Because what the point is that you do the training and then they continue the work. You don't want to go there and do the work for them, because that's not what this is all about. It's about training local talent to do what needs to be done on their own. And that's where the value is.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks, Rudy. Just in case there are folks that are not able to access the chat box, if you have got a question, feel free to raise your hand, and we can entertain questions that way as well. That was all that came through in the chat, Rudy. Was there anything else that you wanted to add, or anything else that anybody else wanted to add before we bring things to a close? Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, and if I had forgotten anyone, please forgive me. I can't see everyone's faces, and I sometimes, when you're doing something very quickly, you sort of don't remember everyone who you came across doing it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for our tech team, who's done an incredible job, and thank you, double and triple, Sandia and Patricia Demek and the training committee. You are awesome, and we love you. Thank you all. And
thanks, Rudy. Just a reminder as we close down, if you have not registered for the upcoming sessions, we've got one coming up on the foundation very shortly. Please do. Please go to the club leadership page where you've been registering for all of these sessions and register for the other ones. And we look forward to seeing you all again. Good night, folks. Thanks very much.
Good night. Be well and stay safe.